What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for Salesforce.com with the ticker symbol CRM. Remember that if you want a chart analysis guaranteed to be done, please read the description below. Before we begin, please take a second to give the video a like and subscribe for more chart analysis. I appreciate all those who are already subscribed and liked my videos. Just a reminder that this video is for entertainment purposes only, does not constitute any financial advice. I will first go over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This is my first time doing a technical analysis breakdown for Salesforce, so this will be pretty interesting. So let's take a look at the daily chart. You can see that previously last year, it looks like most of the time early last year was sideways, and then from you could say May all the way till the end of the year is pretty much an uptrend. You can see the prices were making higher highs and higher lows. The EMA was pointing up and the EMA was acting as support. And then all of a sudden prices started selling off back in November and prices broke down below. The market structure has changed and now prices are making lower lows and lower highs and the EMA is pointing down. So it's pretty much the exact opposite of the uptrend. So that tells me that we're in a downtrend, and if we're in a downtrend, I can connect some swings to create a channel, and this possibly could be the downtrend for Salesforce. You see that it fits pretty good, not that great, but decent, and looks like Salesforce is respecting this downtrend channel. So where are we going? So I'm gonna have to use a measured move. Looks like this was the first leg down for the price action, and since the market moves in waves, this would be the second leg down, and it's right at the 210 level. So that's my target for Salesforce, the 210. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're gonna reach it. We're pretty close to it. We're already at the 218 level, and that's only about a 4% drop, and that can happen in one day. So that's probably not going to be my all-time low target. I think that's where prices are going next, and with the high probability we can reach it. If I zoom on the chart, you can see that there was support built up throughout this up move, but price action could not stay finding support. It broke lower and it's continuing lower. And now we are reaching a critical support level, or a stronger one, that created this entire up move. You can see right at that $205 level is where bulls are defending it. So that could be a area where prices are going to go next after this measured move. So I think that's where Salesforce is trying to go also. I mean, my targets are even lower than that. Like my absolute, not my absolute lowest target, but my lower target is even lower than this previous ones that I mentioned, the measured move, which is at the 210, and the lower side of this range, which is at the 205. I think Salesforce will reach it. It's pretty close to it, and there's really nothing bullish on this chart. I think they want to continue lower. So if I zoom out on the chart a little bit more, show you guys the uptrend, and it would make a lot more sense of what's actually happening. So if I connect the swings from here and I just drag this over, maybe something like that, and I drag this up, so that fits pretty nicely. You can see that this lower side is acting as support, the midline is acting as support and resistance, and every time prices come up to the upper side, it finds resistance. It's pretty much the same thing what happened back here is kind of what's happening right here. So Salesforce is selling off, and since we came off the upper side, normally prices work back to the lower side. Over here it got hung up and it made another push up higher, but I think this time, since we pushed through, you can see that we pushed through the midline, and it looks like it's finding resistance and it's continuing lower. So I think this time they actually want to reach the support side of the channel, which should be right about over here, right at the 165 level. So that's my all-time low target, or that's where I think Salesforce is going as of looking at the chart right now. So I think they want to reach that 162, probably the 165 level. So that's all I have for Salesforce. On the daily chart, we're in a downtrend. The market structure has changed. I think anybody would agree that we are in a downtrend and not an uptrend any longer. The uptrend is over. Anytime the market pulls back down this much, it's really not a pullback at all now. It's just a reversal. So this is a downtrend, and it's going to continue to move lower unless it cannot find it will continue to move lower unless it finds some type of support, and which it can't break through, then it's gonna start reversing and testing other levels. But as of right now, Salesforce hasn't done that yet, and I think there's a strong possibility to continue lower to reach that 210 level probably next week. If this aggressive selling continues, they can probably reach it in 1 week, and eventually the 205 level. And from there, if we don't find any support, then we're probably gonna drop down to that 165 level. So that's my targets for Salesforce. I mean, overall, it's probably going to continue higher in the next 5 to 6 years. But as of right now, in the short term, the technicals are pointing lower. So let's go and wrap this up on the weekly chart. So just real quick, we can look at the income statement. You can see that revenue has been increasing year over year, and net income has also been increasing. But sometimes I guess they reinvest back into the company and it's lower than normal. But the earnings or the income statement looks pretty good, looks pretty strong. So it's a great company, it looks like, and I'm pretty sure they will continue to do well over time. But the technicals will tell me where prices are going, and you see that it was a major sell-off. Prices got far away from the EMA, which is expected, just like what happened here, or even for if the shorts start selling too much, we get far away, we get a snapback. So here we could be experiencing snapback soon because we are getting far away from the EMA, but I think they want to continue pushing the market lower. You can see previously before here at the 270 level was resistance. Prices had a hard time breaking through it, and then eventually it broke through it, pulled back to find some type of support, and then continued higher. But now we fell back straight in there inside this sideways action. Let me put the bottom one on so you can see it clearer. So you can see that this sideways action, let me clear everything out of the way. Let me do this one more time. So you can see that this is the range that looks like prices are respecting. And prices fell back inside the range. So it looks like it's targeting that 205 level, like I said on the daily chart. Looks like it's almost there, and it wants to reach that level. Is there a channel working lower? Yes, like I said before, Salesforce is working inside of this channel. So there's really no signs of weakness in this downtrend, and I think they're going to continue to sell the market to reach these targets. And let me show you guys one more thing that's not a coincidence. You can see that if I do a measure move from the top of this breakout, from the 271 level to the top all-time highs, and I drag it lower on the bottom side of the range, you can see that it's pretty much right at that 165 target. So let me do that again. You can see that this is the sideways action, and you can see that this line right here was acting as resistance. Prices had a hard time breaking through it several times. Then price action broke through it, pulled back, found some type of support, continue higher, and this was how much it continued higher, this measured move. So this was a breakout side of about this much. Now if I do it on the opposite side, because the market is symmetrical, if we get a breakout side on one side, normally we get a breakout side on the opposite side. And if we get the same amount, it's right at the 165 level. So that's not a coincidence. I think that's very calculated, and there's a strong possibility for Salesforce to reach that 165 target in the future. So just keep that in the back of your head. I think there's a strong possibility for price to continue lower. I think we're probably going to easily reach that 205 level. It just looks like it. We're almost there, and it just looks like it wants to drop. It looks pretty heavy. It looks like a lot of selling, and they want to reach this 205 level. And from there, if we drop below, the next support level that I see is that 165 level. And it makes sense because you can see previously it was acting as resistance for quite a long time. And then price action broke above it. And let me show you guys this real quick. So you can see that this was the sideways action right here. And then price action broke outside of it with a measure. Let's make it this long. You can see the arrow is right at the top of that breakout, and then price action fell back inside of it. And then on the opposite side, you can see it almost made the same size move back down. So it's pretty much the same pattern. So we call it a repeating pattern. You can see the sideways action, all these price bars inside of it. There was a breakout side, and it was a breakout side of this much. This arrow shows you how much it was. And if I drag it lower on the opposite side where we also had the breakout side, it almost made the same amount. So this is the same pattern. We had a consolidation phase. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's very similar. And then we had a breakout side of this much, this arrow, And if I drag it lower, then where does it go, right? That 165 target. So like I said before, on the daily chart, there was confluence. It's because it's at the support side of the channel. So there's a lot of reasons for Salesforce to reach that 165 target, and it just makes sense to me. But in the near term, I think we're going to first reach that 205 level, and then from there we need to see what Salesforce wants to do. It doesn't have to. We can reach that level, get a bounce, and not look back. But that's too early to call. Just judging the price action right now, it looks like it wants to reach that 205 level, and even probably break that 166 level. I mean, to reach that 166 level based on previous patterns and just judging the strength of the downtrend. So that's all I have for Salesforce. Thank you for stopping by and checking out my video. Make sure to check out the rest of the channel since you might be surprised at what you can learn. Leave a comment down below on where you think prices are headed. Also share the video if you want your friends to learn about the markets. Lastly, I appreciate any feedback to help improve the channel since I want to deliver great content to you guys. See you next time, and bye.